This is a story of one little church, in the middle of one little town, in the midst of God's great and beautiful creation. God's grace shines on the church, and the church loves God and God's creation. But now the church, and the whole world around it, has entered a point of crisis. Climate change looms large and threatens us all.
The time is now.
God's creation is being ravaged by misuse.
The time is now.
Priceless resources are being squandered for profit.
The time is now.
Vulnerable communities of color and the impoverished are already experiencing the profound effects of this crisis.
The time is now.
The time is now.
The time is now.
The time is now.
But where do we start?
We begin right at home. Our church building has aged. Old, inefficient systems not only cost us more money, but they spew pollution into the atmosphere. So our church did a carbon analysis, and we discovered some interesting facts. Our church emits almost 158 metric tons of carbon waste per year. Really? Now, if you break that into the four main segments of our operations, you'll see that facilities is by far the biggest polluter. So, we zoomed in on facilities. Now watch. As we break up our main areas of facility operation, it becomes obvious where the greatest carbon impact occurs. By focusing on how to reduce our biggest source of carbon, we arrived at bright idea number 1.
Nothing lights up a room like a great idea for carbon reduction. And nothing reduces better than lighting that room with LEDs. Replacing our lights would reduce our annual carbon by 23.9 tons. 23.9 tons. That's equivalent to the annual emissions of 4.2 homes. Not only that, but we could save $5,600 annually in utility and maintenance. Now that's a bright idea worth reaching for. Wait a minute, what's that noise? Uh-oh, not again.
We are long overdue for a boiler replacement. We can avoid a catastrophic failure in expenses, but also can stop sending so much energy straight through the roof. A new unit not only saves us time, money, and maintenance, but helps us minimize our environmental impact as well.
Hey, if all you're gonna do is fix what we already have, you're not investing in the future. I am part of the future, and I say the sky is the limit! And look at all the wasted space up here. What if we got solar panels? We'd invest in a renewable resource of energy, zero emissions for my future. And hey, you boomers out there, it saves money too. Providing 80% of our church's energy by solar would have saved $6,000 in just the first year. And we'd pay off all the cost of going solar in less than 14 years. Free electricity and zero pollution? Now that's a future I can approve.
So, 3 bright ideas. 1 for immediate impact on our emissions. 1 to address our biggest facility issue now. And 1 to invest in ongoing sustainability. 3 bright ideas for one brighter future. Now, it's no secret that these projects come with a cost. But rebates and government paybacks will help. And we can't forget the costs recouped by ongoing savings from each program over time. The biggest payback of all, we're helping restore this amazing creation. So where will the money come from? Well, in addition to government rebates and other aid, reasonable low-cost financing is available through the PCUSA in the form of Restoring Creation loans. Yes, these bright ideas come at a cost, but we cannot ignore the even greater cost of doing nothing.
The time is now.
The time is now.
In the months ahead, the people of our church will be asked to think through these bright ideas together. There's some big projects with big challenges, but they invite us to live out our values and our commitment to care for our shared home.
Our faith compels us to take action, and circumstances compel us toward meaningful action now. We want to look our young people in the eye and honestly say, we are taking big steps to help build a safe future for you and to embrace the needs of generations.
This can be the next chapter in the story of one little church in the middle of one little town, a church that chooses not to bury its head in time of need, but confronts this very large and very urgent global issue. Because
The time is now.
The time is now.